M. Quintana, Honorable Consul General Paul Raymond Cortez, Honorable Ramon M. Lopez, our Secretary and our guest of honor today, the Philippine officials from the Embassy, the Philippine officials from the Consulate General of Dubai, workers in the governments, leaders, my fellow kababayan, maayong buntag, magandang umaga, ano pang Bisaya? Good morning. Kompleto, no? I'm Bisaya actually from Cebu. Today, we make history because we are all gathered here, united for the purpose of this Expo 2020 in Dubai, for the purpose of joining the Philippine Pavilion in Expo 2020 Dubai. I am grateful and I welcome everyone for this memorable and historic day. Before I'm going to end my welcome address, actually it's short, let me take this opportunity to introduce to you my beloved officers, the 12 founding members of the Filipino Social Club. May I request the officers to please come forward. Bigyan naman natin sila ng palakpak. Thank you, dear leaders, for the cooperation. Thank you for your commitment. Most of all, we would like to thank the Community Development Authority of Dubai government. And most of all, I would like to thank also the Filipinos, our kababayans here in UAE. Magandang araw and welcome to this first town hall meeting of the Filipino Social Club here in Dubai.
Actually, some of us, especially myself, were already retired from service in the Filipino community. But when there was a calling, I was chairman of the Philippine Independence Day in 2008. So matagal na. There was a calling, so I said, since I'm still here in Dubai, I said, I'll give my time just to help organize this Filipino Social Gap and have it accredited with the Community Development Authority. Then I was elected as a member and PRO. So this is what I was telling you earlier before the start of the program, that we have talents, we have time, we have treasures, so let's contribute. So later, when we proceed with the program, let's actively participate and let's take advantage of one of the greatest shows on earth. For opening remarks, this lady, this Wonder Woman, doesn't need any introduction. We know her, but one of her latest recognitions was being named in the Emirates Women as Woman of the Year, as visionary. And if I will pronounce her name right, because there are different versions of pronouncing her first name, I'd like to call our ambassador, H. Jesseline. Tama ba? Oh, wala ng H. Yeah, Ambassador Joy Quintana.
Magandang Pilipinas po sa inyong lahat. Secretary Ramon Lopez, you grace us with your esteemed presence. Thank you so much. Ako po ay medyo magra-rumble ng konti because I did not prepare any speech because I'd like to speak from the heart. Pagpasok pa lang po natin ay mainit na po ang inyong pagtangkap. Marami pong salamat. I am very, very proud of what you have achieved today. Erickson Reyes, we met in 2017. I told some of you the story that as early as 2017, I was coming here as Assistant Secretary. I told some of the leaders here, prepare for something was coming. And it is now 6 months away, no. How many months away? 10 months away? No, October, tama, 10 months away. So here we are, Erickson. 2017, 2019, 2 years ago, I said, prepare for something big. Let us now forget the past. Sabi nga sa slogan ng Expo 2020, connecting minds, creating the future. You make me proud. You make me proud as your ambassador that you are coming together for this one important occasion of hearing about the Philippine participation in the Expo 2020. Nakikita ko at nadarama ko ang inyong interest. This is a huge undertaking on the part of our government, and we need to support it, especially from the Filipinos who are here, where it is gonna happen. Can I do a roll call, a short roll call? Gusto ko lang malaman kung sino ang nasa hall this morning. Can I see the contingent from Abu Dhabi? Okay. Thank you very much. Can I see the contingent from Sharjah? Okay. May we see the contingent from Al Quwain? Okay. How about Ajman? Okay. How about Ras Al Khaimah? Fujairah? And of course, Dubai. Yay! So this is just the opening salvo. I think a lot of things are in store for us, and we are here to hear from our good secretary, and also our creative team are here, and they will explain to us what to expect. And ito lang po ang common na tinatanong sa akin, ano po ang role ng community. We will find out later kung ano ang ating maiitulong. Salamat po.
Our guest speaker, his extensive government experience with the Philippine Presidential Management Staff, DTI, and the Economic Development Authority in the early part of his career provided him with a solid background on macroeconomic and industry development that allowed him to adopt a more holistic trade approach when he moved to the private sector and became a top executive of a major Philippine food beverage company for over 25 years. As a strong advocate for free entrepreneurship education for 12 years, he was called to the country again under the current administration as the DTI Secretary. He chairs several institutions under DTI as Board of Investments, the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines, the Small Business Corporation, and the Philippine Economic Zone Authority. He has received several awards, such as the Honorary Agora in Nation Building Award in 2018, the 2016 Nation Builders Award for Government Service for his role as prime mover in micro, small, and medium enterprise development, and the Philippine Innovation Man of the Year in 2017 for the promotion of social entrepreneurship through innovation. In 2018, he received from President Duterte the Order of Sikatuna with the rank of Datu one of the senior honors one can receive in the Philippines. He earned his bachelor's degree in economics from the University of the Philippines and topped his master's degree in development economics at Williams College, Massachusetts, USA. Mga kababayan, ladies and gentlemen, and our guests from the global community, from the international community, let's all welcome DTI Secretary Honorable Ramon Lopez.
Salamat po, Mr. Art. Sa ating pong mahal na Ambassador, Jayceline Joy Quintana, kompleto. Conjen Paul Cortez. Of course, the mga leaders ng Filipino community, Mr. Erickson, yung kanina hong na-introduce, Mr. Mora, and of course, the leaders of the respective communities. At sa inyo pong lahat, ang ating pong mga bayani na overseas Filipinos dito po sa UAE, magandang umaga ho sa inyong lahat. Babatiin ko rin po ang DFA Assistant Secretary Susana Paes, Dole Asek, nandito na ba si Dole Asek? Nikki Tutay, yan. Yan po ang assistant ni Secretary Bello, kaya pwede hong lapitan mamaya. Okay. Si DOST Assistant Secretary Lea Buendia, kompleto po. Ini-introduce ko po ang ating Philippine delegation. Please stand to be recognized po. Para ho. PCOO Director Vinci and Vinci Beltran and Miss Peya. They're at the back. Oh, there you are. Oh, yan. Sila naman po kay under po sa PCOO, Philippine Communication, Presidential Communication Office under kay Secretary Martin Andanar. And then, ang kasama rin po nila si Mr. Rex, Mr. Charles, na nakapaikot po, nandun sila sa likod. Ang DOT Tourism, Department of Tourism, represented by the Tourism Promotion Board, si Mr. Miguel Lopez, no relation po sa akin. Ayan, okay. At ang kasama rin po niya dyan sa TPB. Ms. Helen De Castro of Minda, at saka si Assistant Secretary Romy. Ms. Lisa Punsalan, House of Representative, Attorney Francis Pancilio. Yun, nandun po sila sa kaliwa. At syempre po, ang DTI family ay full support po dito po sa Dubai Expo 2020. Kasama ko po ang mga undersecretaries na may kanya-kanyang trabaho dito at kanya-kanyang meeting tuhong mga nakaraang araw. Si Undersecretary Roel Barba, okay. Si Undersecretary Boy Vismonte, siya pong may hawak ng kaperahan ng DTI. Si Undersecretary Gani Makatoman, isa po galing pong taga Marawi, native of Marawi and Green Hills. At siya rin po ang head ng Trade and Industry Investment Promotion Group. Okay, so under po sa kanya, Export Marketing Bureau, nakita ko po si Assistant Director Agnes Legaspi over there. Okay, ang kanya pong team. At ang acting kapartner po, kung ako po yung Commissioner General, pero take note, hindi po ako kumukuha ng komisyon. Naatasan lang po tayo na Commissioner General ni Presidenteng Duterte. Ang Associate or Alternate Commissioner General si Asek Rosby Gaitos. Yeah. So siya po ang madalas ninyong makakasama dito sa Dubai, especially as we approach the Dubai 2020 Expo. Ang ating pong SITEM Executive Director, Pauline Juan. SITEM po yung nag-arrange ng mga international trade and exhibits, whether ginagawa sa Manila, sa Pilipinas, or sa ibang bansa. Of course, sa Board of Investments, dahil kahapon meron kaming investment forum We met several Emirati companies. Nandito po ang governor, isa sa governors ng Board of Investment, Angie Cayas. Oh, dito pala sa harap. Ayan. And Miss Lani, kasama ko po niya sa kanyang team. Okay. And of course, from yung team Dubai, Philippine Pavilion, Dubai 2020 Expo, kaya ho napakaganda ng ating representation ng Philippines sa Dubai 2020 Expo. We were advised and assisted yung isa sa pinakamagaling na architect sa Pilipinas, si Architect Royal Pineda. Nandyan po. Ang kanya pong kapartner, si Mr. Buji Layug. Kung naaalala ninyo, matagal na ng ating mga sikat na mga pagsinabing Buji. Siya po yan. Iconic living legend. Ayan. At yung nag-curate, huwag nyo nang tanong sa akin kung ano ibig sabihin ng curate. The one curating and giving all the explanation, the meaning behind the creative treatments ng ating Dubai 2020 Expo. The expert in anthropology, curator, Miss Marian Roses, na may hawig po kay Marian Rivera. May mga kasama rin po tayo, sandali, sa government agencies. Oh yes, of course. Kasama ko pa sa opisina. Sa Office of the Secretary, ang ating pong economist at executive assistant at lahat-lahat na po, si ASEC Angelo Taninco, Assistant Secretary. So, dapat pala tumingin ako sa hilera natin. So, meron pa ba akong na-miss? Sa mga government agencies, so as you can see, ganyan po ang suporta ng ating Philippine government. Marami ho kami pinadala, hindi lang po ako lang, at hindi lang dalawa, hindi tatlo, kung hindi talagang full support, because we have a committee, the Philippine Organizing Committee. That's how we are organized back home in the Philippines just to prepare for the Dubai 2020 Expo. In fact, we also have another group, the one helping us in communication, si BBDO Guerrero. Nandito po ba ang representative? So meron din tayo sa communication. One of the leading advertising and communication agencies in the Philippines. You've heard of BBDO Guerrero, no? So kasama rin po natin sila. Okay. Meron din po tayo na we have some other representatives of SMEs, si Myra's Turmeric, Miss Almira Silva. Is Miss Silva here? Sa likod po. Ito ho magkikwento ho sa kanilang pagnanegosyo. Miss Silva of Myra's Turmeric. MS3 Agri-Venture, Mr. Neil Santillan. Neil Santillan, ayan. Sila po yung mga recent na nanalo sa, you participated in SIAL, si Food Exhibit, Food Expo. So, awardee po si Mr. Neil Santillan of MS3 Agri-Ventures. Miss Riclina Ocampo of Wow Mani. Alam niyo yung Wow Mani? Ayan, nandyan po si Miss Ocampo. Nakasama ba natin? Oh, there you are. Oh, Miss Wow Mani in person. And the JNRM, Miss Nerissa Larobis. Miss Nerissa Larobis there at the back, taking a video of all of us. So, and of course, to all of you, our fellow Filipino kababayans, of course to our Emirati friends, the friends of the Filipino community, thank you very much. Maraming salamat for joining and being one with the Filipino community. Frankly, we're very emotional and happy that we are spending this morning with you all. Una-una, maraming salamat. I know you all come from different places and you deserve a big round of applause. Congratulations, Ambassador Quintana. It shows really the unity and the full support of the Filipino community to all the endeavors of government. You know why we are here? Ang ating mahal na Pangulo, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, ay nagbigay ng full support, kanya pong participation, siya po ang nag-decide because of his wisdom for the Philippines to join in a big way dito po sa Dubai Expo 2020. Yan po yung magsisimula po next year. Kaya yan po ay isang napakagandang desisyon ng ating Pangulo. Recognizing na napakadaming overseas Filipinos dito po sa Dubai, sa UAE, sa Abu Dhabi, at sa lahat po ng, how do you call that, the Emirates in UAE. Recognizing na in fact, I hear some numbers, over 800,000 na raw. Sometimes I hear 700,000. You are probably the second largest, third largest. Dapat exclude ang US. I think next to Saudi Arabia, excluding US na maraming mga migrants. After Saudi Arabia, ang alam ko po UAE na yung second. Kaya palakpakan po natin UAE. And because of that, nung kausap po ng ating Pangulo ang head, ang leader po ng UAE, siya po ay nagbigay ng kanyang commitment to participate in the World Expo Dubai 2020. He has given that commitment in appreciation of the hosting by UAE of all the Filipinos here, living, working, and contributing, as great assets, contributing to the society of UAE. Isa pa, over 190 countries ang participant sa World Expo Dubai. So practically, almost all countries are participating. So imagine kung wala ang Pilipinas, na napakaraming Pilipino pa naman dito sa UAE. It's about time. Sabi ho ng Pangulo, it's about time that we project a new Philippines, a modern, progressive, taas-noong Pilipino that we can present to the world na isa pong modern, progressive, innovative, a country of creative Filipinos na makikita ninyo sa lalo na dyan sa ilalabas natin na sa Expo 2020, Filipinos that are well-connected, deeply connected around the world. Kaya po yun ang naging tema ng ating 2020 Dubai Expo. Ano po yung nakikita around the world? Nagko-connect ng buong mundo. Yun po ang ating karagatan. Diba? At ano ang nasa ilalim ng karagatan? Ang nagko-connect na coral reef. Diba? The reef that connects the world. And the reef would be like the Filipinos, connecting the whole world dahil po tayo ay around the world. At ang Tagalog po ng reef ay bangkota. So yun po ang maririnig po natin, not only here in UAE, but also in the Philippines, because in inauguration, the launch yesterday, lumabas na po sa dyaryo ngayong araw, sa maraming pahayagan, in many newspapers, ang pag-launch po ng ating bangkota, Philippine Pavilion sa Dubai 2020. Ang ating pong layunin, our aim is to present and project the Philippines, a different Philippines that is caring, compassionate, and connected around the world, modern and creative. Ang Pilipinas na educated, well-loved around the world, everywhere you go. Ang preferred employees, or sometimes they are the employers, would be Filipinos. Dahil napakagaling. And hardworking, they work hard at day and they sing well at night. Di ba? Ang galing pang kumanta. Nag-aagawan sa mic. Ayaw mag-ibigay. Parang may glue ang mic. No? Kaya dito lang, buti nagpapasahan kayo ng mic ngayong umaga. Sa amin po yan, hindi na tayo magpapasahan ng mic. At ngayon, ang papakita natin doon ay lahat po ng magagandang tanawin sa Pilipinas, ang magagandang produkto, modern and creative products. I-showcase din natin ang tourism, And they will all be embedded and part of that whole expo, the Philippine Pavilion. If you see the products now that are in Go Local stores, or ipipresent nating brand of the store in the Dubai 2020 would be what we call now Marahuyo. Ang ibig sabihin po, another Tagalog word. In fact, it is one of the 30 most endearing and beautiful words of Tagalog. Alam mo ba yan, Asa Crosby? Marahuyo. That means to be enchanted. Oh, ganda. Marahuyo. So, yun po ang isang pangalan ngayon ng ating isang store, a Philippine store, that will also be featured carrying all the modern, fashionable, high-end products na pagmamalaki nating gawa sa Pilipinas and made of indigenous materials. Iba na ang Pilipinas ngayon. Kaya nga ho, napakagandang maipakita sa buong mundo ang kagalingan ng Pilipinas, ang kagalingan ng mga Pilipino. Ang Pilipinas po is really something to be proud of. Siguro nakakarating na ho sa inyo ang balita na ang Pilipinas is one of the fastest growing economies, not only in Asia, but in the world. Sa administrasyon po ni Pangulong Duterte, we are able to maintain the over 6% growth rate ng ating ekonomiya, kinaiinggitan po sa ibang parte ng mundo. At yun po, it's not a fluke, it's not tsamba. Dahil yun po ay nagiging growth natin mula pa noong 2012. Ilang taon na, ilang quarters sa isang taon, 4 na quarters, di ba? So ilang quarters na yon? Mga 8 years more or less times 4, no? So 32 quarters. 32 quarters times 3 months, yun na yung dami ng buwan that we are posting a very high growth rate, second only to Vietnam. Naunahan na rin natin ang China, no? At kung ilang taong na ganyan kalakas ang growth rate natin, ibig sabihin, our economy is really growing fast, sustainably. And if you look at a chart na pinapakita po namin usually yung ating pong chart ay pataas ng pataas, upward growth trajectory. And that cannot be found anywhere else in the world. Yung iba po, they are probably growing 1 or 2%. Tayo po 6%. Kaya ho magpasalamat tayo sa biyaya rin na binibigay din ng ating Panginoon, blessing our country. Our country is truly blessed with people like you and a country that is blessed with a very strong economy nowadays. Now, because of that, our economy is growing so fast. Yung latest record of unemployment is now 4.5%. Just to give you an idea, ng mga nakaraang taon, the past years, we were always above 6%. 6% of a 100 million Filipinos, napakalaki po. But now, hindi lang po 5.2%, yun po yung huling number. But the latest number last year, it even went down to 4.5%. The best. In fact, it's the record level ng ating unemployment rate. At meron ding equivalent number sa underemployment. Ano po ang underemployment? Ito po yung may trabaho ka na pero naghahanap ka pa ng sideline. No? Naghahanap ka pa ng another job. So underemployed, hindi ka pa happy. So it reflects the quality of job that we have back home. At ngayon po, ang ating underemployment, bumaba na 13. In fact, 13%, dati po ang underemployment rate that we always hear, kami pong nagmamonitor niyan, over 21% parate. Marami na, ibig sabihin, gumaganda ng quality of job because it's now down to 13%. Okay, so keep that in mind. Very good employment figures. Now, the other trait po na pagmamalaki ng Pilipinas, kaya po many investors are attracted to Philippines because of this growing population. We call it a demographic sweet spot. No? Because the average age is 24 years old. So, yun po yung average ng age ng mga anak natin. No, we're way past that. But that is the majority now, and that is the average age, 24 years old. So imagine, 24 years old, and it's now 108 million ang population natin. And by the year, lumalaki ng kulang-kulang 2 million. Because our population growth rate is about 1.9%, almost 2%. Mahilig tayong gumawa ng babies, di ba? So gusto natin, pastime, lalo na pag brown out. So ganun ho kabilis yung population. Noong una, in the olden times, when you say high population, ako, daming tao. Kaya lalaki ang poverty natin. But now, the people, the young age, are now considered as asset. Because in other countries na hindi kasing sipag gumawa ng babies, they are now having an aging society. Diba? You're hearing that. Na kaya kailangan nila maraming caregivers. Tumatanda na yung average age, 45, 50 years old. Yan ang average age ng mga ibang kapitbahay natin na bansa, our neighboring countries. We are young, average age of 24. Now, and young, growing population, ano ibig sabihin nun? There's a huge market. And i-connect natin yung lower unemployment rate. Ibig sabihin, may trabaho karamihan, may income, may pinagkikitahan. And therefore, a growing population with a bigger income would mean bigger purchasing power of the economy. Ang dami. And so, it attracts many investors. Palaki ng palaking ekonomiya. There's a huge consumer market in the Philippines today. Lalo na, yung mga pinapadala ng mga overseas Filipino remittances, dagdag pa yon. You account for about 10% of the economy in terms of the income contribution sa ating ekonomiya. At kayo po ang isang nagpapalakas ng ekonomiya sa Pilipinas. Kaya maraming tao sa malls, maraming bumibili sa... So many malls, therefore, are being established. Maraming condominiums. Dahil kayo ang namimili, lalo na raw taga UAE. Ang mga yayaman ng mga taga UAE. Palakpakan natin ang mga taga UAE. Kayo ho ay mayaman. Kami ay mayaman sa trabaho. Marami ho kaming trabaho. So, yan po ang nagpapalakas na, kayo po ang nagpapalakas ng ekonomiya. So with that growing purchasing power, take note, I mentioned young population. That means so many more years to come na ganito kalakas at lalaki ang ekonomiya. It will continue to increase the consumer base. Because I just mentioned, young population. Kaya therefore, many are predicting, hindi po gobyerno, coming from third parties, foreign publications, telling the world that Philippines will become the 16th largest economy in the world, especially by 2015. And take note, we are number 32. 32nd tayo ngayon. Will become the 16th largest economy. Ganong kalaki ang ekonomiya natin. And hopefully, in the near future, many of you will go back home and find work or enjoy your retirement in the Philippines. No? Dahil nandun na yung trabaho. In fact, right now, a bit of anecdote, we have this program, yung naririnig nyo na yung build. Very aggressive infrastructure development na napakalaking programa ng gobyerno ni Pangulong Duterte. It's creating more jobs such that nagkukulang na daw yung trabahador sa mga construction sites. Ano nangyayari? Lower supply, greater demand. Tumataas na yung sweldo ng mga trabahador sa Pilipinas ngayon. So, yung mga nandito po sa Middle East, baka maisipan ninyo, kailangan engineer din doon at architect. I'm sure sila architect royal, maraming pangangailangan din yan sa kanilang mga projects. So many, such that nagdadagdag pa sila para pumasok sa Lunes, kinalunisan. Kasi daw pag Linggo, wala, nag-happy-happy. So pag Lunes, absent na. So kulang na ang trabahador pag Monday. So ang ginagawa ng mga contractor and developer, nagdadagdag pa para pumasok dahil kulang na yung trabahador sa ating mga construction projects because of build. with so many projects. Hindi lang government projects. Kasabay kasi pag nagagawa ang mga infrastruktura, the infrastructure, nade-develop din ang mga ibang regional centers. Dumadami rin ang private investment and private developers having their own projects, private projects, in those different regional centers. So hindi lang Metro Manila ngayon ang lumalago. In fact, the fast growth rates are experienced outside Metro Manila. So we now see a greater, more balanced distribution of wealth, of income around the country because of the infrastructure being developed sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao, outside Metro Manila. And because of that, maraming growth in those areas, promoting even tourism, agriculture development, and many more. Tuloy-tuloy na. So you see more progress as well in the region. So nakakalat po ang development. So ang ganda ho ng mga nangyayari ngayon. And because of this, what I'm telling you on infrastructure development, construction growth in our, what we call the GDP, gross domestic product, isa po sa pinakamalakas ngayon. It's not just a single-digit growth. It's a double-digit growth, posting mga 16.8 to 17%. Hindi 2%, hindi 5%, 17% growth, all in construction GDP. So it's just one of the fast-growing sectors. It's also backed up by fast growth rate, even by services, yung pong mga nasa bangko, transportation, logistics, yung IT, business process management, one of our biggest revenue generator, just like the overseas Filipinos, remittances. In a year, they contribute about $25 billion to the economy, just like the overseas Filipino workers. Ang IT BPM, they contribute about $30 billion a year. Ganyang kagagaling yung mga Pilipino. We are the preferred outsourcing site and center. That is also one of the major sources of growth of our country. So yan po ang mga magagandang balita from our manamahal na Pilipinas na tuloy-tuloy ang progreso at ang ating Pangulo, isa pong Pangulo na sincere at nagmamahal sa inyo pong lahat ng mga kababayan natin, lalo na po ang mga overseas Filipinos abroad. Kaya ho, kahit saan kami magpunta, siya po ay mahal na mahal at tinatanggap na parang isang rock star. Talagang pag pumapasok po siya sa isang gathering, tulad ho nito, I'm sure pag bumalik or pumunta ang presidente dito, hindi lang ganito kalaki ang Filipino community that will meet with him. Kailangan natin ng isang gymnasium or even more, a big arena to welcome our president. Tama ba? Yes. Oo, dahil gusto niyo bang pumunta si presidente dito? Parang ayaw niyo yata eh. Gusto niyo bang pumunta ang ating Pangulong Duterte? O yan, sana nare-record tayo, papakita natin kay Pangulong Duterte. O, sabihin natin, imbitahin natin si Duterte, sabihin natin, Duterte, 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 Duterte. Yan, okay. So, President Duterte, kung nanonood man kayo, kailangan na kayo dito. Kaya ko po nabanggit yon dahil ito pong Dubai Expo 2020 will open on October 20 next year. October 20, 2020. So isa pong inaayos po namin ay makapunta siya sa opening sa October 20, 2020. Hindi pa ho sigurado yon dahil po kailangan hong kausapin din ang UAE government, the organizers. Kasi ho, ang talagang schedule ng punta niya ay sa March 20 to 22, March 21, thereabouts, March 21, 2021. March 16, 2021 to be exact. Ayun, basta yung linggo na yon, yun po ang pinaplano talagang punta ng Pangulong Duterte. Yun po may go signal na. Kaya nga po, I started with a statement, susubukan natin, we'll work on a possible visit earlier. Para I'm sure excited na kayo makita ang ating Pangulo. Isa pa ho, ang ating Pangulo, kaya nga ho, siya ay nag-decide na sumali tayo sa Dubai 2020 dahil sa pagmamahal sa inyo, mabigyan kayo ng pride, inspiration, and hope na ang Pilipinas ay iba na po ngayon. Ang Pilipinas po is one na mapagmamalaki natin. So yan po ang aming munting balita na isang napakaganda ang mga progress sa ating bansang Pilipinas. Ang pagsali rin po natin dito sa Dubai Expo 2020 and full support po ang Philippine government. Mamaya po siguro maidi-discuss ni Ambassador on how the community can also help sa pag-participate ng Pilipinas. Last point po is that, of course, in the Department of Trade and Industry, isa po, everywhere we go, we also have what we call yung trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, gathering. Dito po ba naggawa na po ang TNK, trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan? Ito po yung isang programa that, anyway, we will do one kung hindi pa ho dahil, andito ba si Charm, ang ating commercial counselor? Si Charm is somewhere here. Mamaya ho ay magpapakita si Charm. Sino pa? Kasama natin ng Dolly sa programa na yan. So si Asek Nikki, tayo po tayo. And si Charm, wala ba si Charm? Si Charm po ang aming commercial counselor na nakabase dito sa Dubai. And that we will do programs kasi sa trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, we will present opportunities for employment back home as well as negosyo opportunities. Yun yung pinapresent ng DTI. So tuturuan tayo sa mga entrepreneurship opportunities, how to become very good entrepreneurs. Turuan tayo ng principles of entrepreneurship, financial literacy, where to properly invest your money para hindi na tayo dun sa mga scam, maloko. Sorry, may tinatamaan ba? So sana po wala. We will basically have presentations on how best to establish a business back home at not necessarily yung pamilya nyo po back home. Para pag uwi po ninyo, meron na kayong magandang tumatakbong negosyo. So yun po ang isang programa rin po that we will work with the embassy, with Ambassador Quintana and her team. Dahil ang amin pong what we always tell our beloved overseas Filipinos ay ang ating pong role ay to earn now, to learn what we can learn in the country where we are, and then to return. So we earn, we learn, and we return. So that when we return back home, maka-contribute pa tayo sa ating minamahal na bansa at lalong magtuloy-tuloy ang progreso ng ating bayan. So magandang araw po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you very much, Honorable Secretary Lopez, for those encouraging facts and figures. Indeed, exciting times ahead of us. So we earn, we learn, and we return or reintegrate. By the way, we are being live streamed from Malacanang. So we're telling them, I'm looking at the camera, kami po mga Pilipino dito sa UAE, solid po kami sa support sa Philippine participation sa Expo 2020. At eto po mga kasamahan ko, you wave, ayun po yung camera. RTVM Malacanang. Yeah, papakita po natin lahat. Just keep on standing and wave. Eto po, solid. Oh, yan. Eto po ang mga kababayan for Philippine Participation Expo 2020. Mabuhay! So yung yung Facebook page is called Radio Television Malacanang-RTVM. Live po. Live tayo po. Ayun, nakakita kayo lahat. O tago-tago kung nagkatago kayo. Yeah, really, thank you very much for that. So you have set the tone for the town hall. And as I've said earlier, Town Hall, this is really an informal, casual meeting where we engage with our guests, and later we'll also interact with them. And I like that part that Ambassador Quintana will talk about our contribution, what we can do as Filipinos here in the UAE. We have two more speakers, presenters, regarding the pavilion itself, the physical aspect of the pavilion, and also another person will talk about the content, what messaging or what are we going to promote within that pavilion. Narinig ko. I'm hearing my voice, delayed 5 seconds. Okay, gusto po niyo makita yung anong itsura ng coral, ha? Okay, I'm going to call the architect behind, or the creative mind behind the pavilion, the team director of the pavilion. May I call on Architect Royal Pineda. Itsura ya parang parang band player, cool na cool,
Thank you. Magandang tanghali sa ating lahat. Thank you so much for having us here. We're very, very happy to hear and to see all of you kasi it's really overwhelming, no, to see and experience how Filipinos are really very united, especially when you are outside the Philippines. No, so we're very happy. Like kanina lang nagsisigawan tungkol sa Kesek, ang galing nung no? At least na-request na natin, President. Meron ng panawagan dito, no? Yeah, so anyway, I would like to first congratulate all of us dahil balita lang from the Philippines that we have won an international award to having the best airport in the world, no? Architectural Design Award. No? So this is the one in Mactan. So we don't just have a global airport, but we have the architecturally designed best airport in the world. No? And also, I would like to congratulate our country for also being able to successfully host the SEA Games. No? So that's very good for all of us. In fact, one of the good news is that we are also hosting already the 50 countries competing internationally using our aquatic center for next year. So that means our facilities are globally and internationally qualified for the Olympics and for the world. So that is our good news, and our best news for today is we want to share with you our bangkota. No? As mentioned a while ago by our secretary, I am here to share and to discuss with you where it came from. No? We want you to experience and understand also the authenticity of this creation of ours. No? To start with, yung mga hindi naman nakakilala sa amin, we are Buji Royal. My business partner there, Mr. Buji Layug. So yung nakakaalala nung kantang Buhok Mo'y Buji, Talampa Kay Gucci, is the guy, you know? Yes, so madami rito, yun yung for sure, alam yung kanta na yun. Bongga Kaday, you know? Buji Royal is actually an advocate of modern Filipino architecture and design. No, we've been doing this for 18 years, and it was a perfect timing for this government and administration to actually hire us and get us to trust us to do something that is very important for the Philippines. Because again, this sits in a very global arena, and we are presenting our country in a very architectural and physical image. No? So how do we translate that? It was a very good thing that in our practice in modern Filipino architecture, we have processed and we have already filtered all these elements to keep our identity as modern Filipino architecture and design clear to us internally as Buji Royal. So, next please. In defining modern Filipino architecture and design, when we were doing this bangkota, we needed to understand what's modernity. And again, modernity is never about just the materials or just the technology itself, but modernity for the Philippines is all about betterment. So it is about the betterment of the lifestyle of the Filipinos. It is the betterment of the country itself, no? And it's the betterment of every community in the Philippines. So it's not defined alone as a physical image, no? Next, please. And what made us really very this is actually the Clark Airport, and what made us really very conscious in developing our modern Filipino architecture and design is that we wanted to define who we are as Filipinos, and the only way to define the presence of a nation in the best way is through architecture. No? The status of a country, of an economy of a country can easily be read and becomes very legible through its infrastructure, its development, its architecture. No? So, please. Being Filipino, then it really needs to be rooted. The whole concept of modern Filipino architecture and design, the modern Filipino sensibility, it doesn't stop in the architecture. It doesn't stop in the design. The modern Filipino is all about a culture of us as people. We are now the modern Filipinos. And as I go through the whole presentation, I would like you to understand that this culture is something that you can take home after I speak. No? This is something that we can all carry after this whole presentation is shared to everyone. The root of what we are doing is about authenticity. So, next please. Being modern doesn't mean that you are abandoning our roots, no? This is, by the way, the new Clark City. This is the stadium that we have, the venue or the SEA Games just the other day, no? The closing happened there. So again, these are already built. This is not anymore a dream, no? This is already up. The modern Filipino sensibility is not a dream. It is already existing. The new Clark City is not just the face of Tarlac. It is not the face of Pampanga. It is the modern Philippine face of the country. No? It is the country. It is the face of the nation now. Next, please. The truthfulness. Sorry, can you go back, please? So the truthfulness that I'm sharing to you right now is the process that we have to embrace. No? The truthfulness is very important in creating what is modern Filipino architecture, in creating what we feel that is authentic. The process is very, very critical. And that is why I will move forward to the very philosophy of who we are as Buji Royal. Next, please. As Buji Royal, we believe in the nature of things. And this thing is called the whole flow of nature itself. No? We believe in something that's very organic, that nature will always be in charge. Next, please. And under this philosophy, 25 years ago, I have discovered this very personal philosophy, that nature is peace. So I believe that nature will always be in charge, and it will always keep a balance, and it will always guide and provide. So there's always provision. Next, please. As I say, nature is peace, I can even look at an erupting volcano and say it's peaceful. Just don't get in the way, no. You just have to step away from it. No, it can be a disaster. No, but the idea of peace is something that we Filipinos are constantly carrying. I'm just actually trying to emphasize and amplify it. Because you look at the Filipinos after Pinatubo, after all the disasters that we call disasters, the storms, the typhoons, and all the tsunamis or whatever you call them, a Filipino will still smile. I think that spirit of our resiliency and our soul of being one with nature is constant. So wherever you bring us, as we discussed about the Bangkota being all over the place, wherever you bring us, I believe that we are always in touch with nature. So next, please. My second part that we are presenting for the philosophy is the belief system that we have to embrace, that man is nature. This is a philosophy that needs to be well shared to everyone, because not just to the Filipinos, but I believe that the Filipinos will be hosting this very important philosophy to the world, because the concept of sustainability and the concept of what we feel is the effort of trying to save our nature or our green landscapes is only possible if we start to believe that we are nature. We are not separated. There is no separation between man and nature. Kung matatandaan natin, usually we call it man and nature. Laging magkahiwalay. But if we start to become one, we will always be in respect with nature. Next, please. And the third, which is very important in the presentation of Bangkota, is the belief system that there is a variety of the world. This variety of the world is something that we all have to embrace. This is about respect, it is about integrity, it is about identity, it is about coexistence. As Filipinos, we were placed in the Philippines for a reason. We were placed here, in the Philippines by nature. The French were placed in France by nature. For a reason we don't know. But I believe that the reason why we were placed there is because we were given the chance to process and refine ourselves to make Filipinos better, and to be able to refine and bring a better lifestyle for each other, and we become a gift to the world. So the idea of being a finer Filipino, a modern Filipino, is not just about making our country better or making ourselves better. It is about giving a gift to the world after we have refined ourselves. So it is the concept of pag nagbibigay tayo ng regalo, hindi naman tayo nagbibigay ng regalo na pangit. We always try to make our gifts best. And this is what I'm saying, that our variety as Filipinos, we are here not to compete. We are here to coexist with the world. And in the Bangkota Pavilion, we will present ourselves as truthful as we can. And this is going to happen for the Bangkota. Next, please. And next, please. As we move forward to the concept of knowing what Bangkota is all about, we were actually, can you go back, please? The idea is to create and present the nature of the Philippines. That's why I was talking about nature. The easiest way to present and create presence in Dubai Expo effortlessly is to be truthful of who we are. And from the philosophy that I shared with you, we are sharing the beauty of the islands. We are sharing the beauty of our beautiful mountains and seas. And most importantly, we are sharing here the beauty of the Filipinos itself, the people. This is what Bangkota is all about. Next, please. So, in presenting the people, when you look at the whole expo, majority and most of them are all focused on the advanced technology. They are beautiful. They're all beautiful. They're all doing the high tech, the developments of highfalutin architecture, very expensive architecture, very technological architecture. And that's about the sustainability of doing a structure. But we believe that the Philippines can share something else, something that's more rooted than just doing structures. I believe that we can share our very culture of as people. That's why we chose cultural sustainability, which is for humanity, more than just thinking of buildings and structures. Next, please. So what we have is Bangkota, as mentioned by Secretary. This is about the coral reefs. Next, please. It is the ancient Tagalog word for coral reefs. No? Next, please. And we did not just pick this up because, as mentioned, we are going to present us as truthful as we can. And truthfully, we have so much beautiful coral reefs. Next, please. And why did we choose this? Because the Philippines is the center of the marine biodiversity of the world. So this is something we own. No, there is no other center. It's only the Philippines. So we have all the marine biodiversity happening in where is this again, Marianne? Sorry, exactly in Verde Islands. No, so this is what we have. So again, we are presenting it. We are not competing. We are defining who we are. No, next, please. So that inspiration came about, and part of the truthful process that we have to create is to understand that we are building something in Dubai. And most of the common approach that we see is that somebody will just build a bahay kubo or a bahay na bato or a Filipino, very Filipino Spanish look architecture just to represent our identity as Filipinos. But we're not doing that. No? We're not doing this approach, but instead we are bringing in Dubai the principle of the bahay kubo or the nipa hut. And the principle of it is to build truthfully. When Juan de la Cruz built our bahay kubo, first, he was not an architect. He was not a technical person. He was just a Filipino, truthfully and honestly responding to what he feels. No? And he felt, I need to put shelter for my family. I need to lift up my house to avoid the tropical flood and the predators. We need to get the bamboo and the nipa, which are free, because that is what's sustainable. It was free. And it needs to tilt because the water pours in if you flatten it. And everything became just a manifestation of the image of what is Filipino. This is what we're doing here. We're building our Bangkota with all the technology available in Dubai, with all the materials that is available in Dubai, and making sure, next please, that this celebrates a very special and important concept for the Philippines. We call this, and we have to coin it, no? We have to call this practical luxury. Because we believe that the Filipinos deserve to live in luxury today, not when we are first world. I'm not so willing and I'm not so patient to wait to be first world, the way they call them first world. Because I believe that the Filipinos are so creative that we can create luxury by design through our creativity with very simple materials, with very humble materials. We can address our lifestyle today with great designs. No? If we have architects, engineers here, for sure you can relate to what I'm trying to say. No? Next, please. So the concept is about the water and then the colors and the marine life in the Philippines. So we're bringing in this very metaphor of what is underwater, but we're using the landscape that is available in Dubai. Again, we're not trying to bring the acacia tree or other Filipino trees here, but again, these are all plants thriving in Dubai. Next, please. So the idea also is, again, to build it with the truthful materials that is, again, accessible and easy to purchase, and again, low carbon footprint here in Dubai. So we're using the concrete, the wire mesh, and the sandwich panels. And there's a reason for this. Next, please. We are designing this also for the concept of using the sunscreen, the wire mesh for sunscreens, and to create volume to become present against the big pavilions that's around. No? Next, please. So we are designing this with modularity, and we are, again, responding to nature. We are reading the sun. We are understanding the wind to make sure that the space and how that Juan de la Cruz designed the Bahay Kubo before is also being done here in this particular bangkota. No? Next, please. So we are collecting and managing the sun, the light, and again, we are also amplifying the movement of air. Next, please. Through those curves and the architectural skin, no, of the building. Next, please. So it is modular. Now we have to design this to be modular for the reason that we are bringing this back to Clark. The concept of what we have here is very important to be brought back to Clark, because the message of the pavilion is about freedom. It is about the reset of the minds of the Filipinos. And we want that idea not just to be limited to the people who will be in Dubai for the pavilion, but also for the Filipinos, the next generation, the students, the next people who will be understanding our history. No? Next, please. So just to show you, as we rise with the element of the building, we will just show you how it's going to be built. No? The idea is to, again, simplify everything, to celebrate practical luxury, to make sure that all the materials that we'll put here will be, again, reused and be transported to the Philippines, basically in Clark. No? And we already have a place for this pavilion in Clark. No? So we already have a venue. It will be another destination for the Filipinos, again, in the modern Philippine city in Clark. No? So this is actually done by our contractor. So this is in collaboration with a Dubai contractor who is now building for us our pavilion. So what you'll see, I believe there's an audio. It actually has an audio. But anyway, what you're seeing now is the process of how it's being built. As this building rise, I believe that this will be the very emblem of our new mindset as Filipinos. No? So this is something that we are very excited about. I think we're having some glitches here. So if you notice, the structure is made of steel, no? And people can go up all the way to the top, no? The idea, again, is to make people experience the beauty of nature again. So this is just showing all the building materials now. Later we'll show you the components of the experience of the pavilion itself. Okay, so I think we can, So at night it becomes something more like an underwater experience. No? The lighting will play a big role here together with the landscape. So Okay, thank you. Maybe we can move to the next slide, please. Okay, next slide, please. So again, the idea that we are doing, why it is very important to bring it back. Again, the content is quite important. Later, Ms. Marian Roses will explain to us the component, no, the elements, the narrative of the entire pavilion. And as also mentioned a while ago by Secretary, on the National Day, we have chosen March 16, 2021, because as the day one, we call it day one. Now, this is also the 500 years of the arrival of Magellan. No? And we have chosen as a concept, as a design, as an announcement to the world that Magellan actually got lost and we discovered him. No? So this is gonna be they just glorified their term that they discovered us, but actually he got lost along the way. No? And we found him, and we are gonna reset that. We're gonna change that through this event, through this exhibition. We are gonna make this again not just for the Dubai Expo, but this will continue to the next generation as a permanent structure. Now, we'll share with you the next video. I hope this one has the audio. So, a while ago we showed you the construction, but this one is more of the experience. So we hope that on the actual event, we can all be there and celebrate with us the National Week. Actually, Secretary, National Week. So we don't have, I think we have some problems with the audio. But as you see, that there will be a constant exhibit of art. Now this is about the creativity of the Filipinos. So we're bringing food, which is, again, everything will be modern and everything will be Filipino. Okay? So the way we are presenting it, the food, the arts, the products, everything that goes inside, the exhibit itself, are all about the creativity of the Filipinos. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because we want the world to know that we are a collaborator. We have something that we can share to the world as Filipinos also. This is Marahuyo. This is actually where the products are. We are bringing in, again, as part of our design collaboration with the government, we are putting together the great designers of the Philippines. These are all creative Filipino designers of products and many things. No? We're also bringing artists, and again, later you'll see them with Marian. Next, please. Okay, so we have problems with the actual video. So anyway, so just to end this presentation, I would like to make everybody understand the very principle why we created modernity and why we also created the rooted source of our design. Because we feel and we believe that the Philippines is not anymore in that stage wherein we are timid, we are quiet as people. I believe that we are already giving something very critical, very important to share with the world. And I believe that this time, we just have to announce it. So hopefully that everybody can share, let there be a modern bayanihan, let there be a unity in the Filipinos. And thank you so much, and see you in Bangkota.
Thank you very much, Architect Royal Pineda. Really, you know, into this world, they talk about disruption. I think the design for me is a disruptive design because common image, we look out Nipahat, Filipino images, but this one is really disruptive. So something that will shake our minds and also other nationalities visiting the pavilion. Thank you very much for that. We have seen the form. Now we'll listen to the substance. So I'd like to call Miss Marian Roses, who is the content creator of the pavilion.
Hello, everybody. Are you still good for another few minutes? You're still good? All right. So what's it all about? That's what I came here to share with you. Ano ba ito? We are obviously investing a lot in this endeavor. But what for? Sabi ni Royal, sabi ni Sekmon, bagong sanaysay, bagong kwento tungkol sa Pilipino. A new way of understanding who we are and a new way of conveying or communicating that knowledge, that understanding. So, this is what we did. I suggest that you don't read because there's a lot of text. I'll just walk you through it so that you'll get to see the images. Pero mas mabuti siguro na para mas mabilis, para tayo ay magkaintindihan, mas mabuti na po siguro na parang ako ay tour guide. Ganun na lang po ang ating gagawin. So ito, virtual na, nandyan na yan. Ano ang dapat nating malaman tungkol sa ating sarili na hindi pa natin alam? Okay. Ang makakasagot niyan po ay mga scientist. Hindi lamang po historian, kasi kalimitan sinasabi natin, ibang history, a new history. Yes and no, because history, as we know, is only based or usually based on written records. Now, written records of the Philippines is generally only the last 500 years, okay? And written records in the Philippines began only 1,000 years ago. There's a plate, a metal plate at the National Museum of the Philippines, which has writing that is dated 1,000 years ago. So the beginning of written records is 1,000. Okay, but most of it, majority of our written records is from 500 years. All right, but you see, history is not the only place where we can find something about ourselves. Meron po diyang archaeology, meron po diyang linguistics, meron po kung ano-anong siyensya. Okay, so what I'm trying to do now, what we are going to try to do is put together all the science and update it. So the presentation in the Philippine Pavilion is updated. The best new science. Hindi naman po ganun ka-new. All of this is already the consensus of the scientific community, not just of the Philippines, but of the world. All right, I will walk you through it now. We begin with the Expo Dubai theme, which is connectivity and sustainability. So we respond to it. The first thing we do is respond to the Expo theme. Now, connectivity is something that Filipinos can tell the world about. So when we found out that that was the theme, one of the major themes, it was quite clear that we can tell something to the world about connectivity. We apparently are the most connected people on earth. We spend 10.5 hours every day online, and you know that. We are so connected. We put videos on our faces so that somebody in the Philippines can actually watch us asleep. Through the whole night. You know that? You do that all the time. We do that all the time. We don't have any party here in the Middle East without anybody in our barangays, in Mindanao, in the Cordilleras, knowing through your telephones. There are more telephones, apparently, than there are Filipinos. There's more than 100 million telephones owned by Filipinos. So connectivity is something that we apparently know something about and are doing all by ourselves without prodding. So connectivity was a good story to link with. The other thing that Royal Pineda had told us about is sustainability. So instead of going the route of sustainability in the usual way, we have tried to now come across with cultural sustainability. So ano pong ibig sabihin ng cultural sustainability sa pavilion na ito? Ang ibig sabihin po, kung ano tayo, yung ating kaanyuan, ang ating pananaw, ang ating sarili, parang kahit ano mangyari sa atin, it persists. We keep doing what we have done. And I will tell you, that story is not 500 years. That story is more like 4,000 years. So the story of the pavilion, the first part is about 4,000 years. I would like you to remember the figure 4,000. All right? This is the story we're going to tell. Now, let's move on. Throughout these 4,000 years, we have actually maintained a kind of imagination and a kind of way of thinking that is mythological. Nandyan pa po sa isip natin, moderno tayo po ay marunong sa mundo, pero yung ating pong mga mythology at yung pag-iisip na parang mythological nandyan pa. So ang amin pong piniling mga artist ay mga artist na marunong magsama ng imagination at saka modernity. Ganun po ang ating magkasama po yon. So halimbawa, itong artwork na ito ay isang hango sa ating hindi kasaysayan, because kasaysayan is history. Hango yan sa ating mythology. But as you can see, it is completely contemporary. Okay? We'll walk through it. May isa pang artwork sa labas. I'll show you the other one. The slides, could you please move it on a little bit? The next slide, please. Just move on. For those of you who want to know the names of the artists, we're happy to do it, but my presentation is more about the overall rather than individual pieces. Now, please go on. There's another work of art. This one is a combination of the technological, the mythological, the contemporary. Very important artist, this one. Let's move on. Now, I said earlier, before you meditate on this picture, I said earlier that the information is new. I will tell you what the new information is. But in the pavilion, myself as a tour guide will not be there, not every day. So what we decided to do is to make a stage where people will leave behind what they know about the Philippines so that they can receive new information about the Philippines. So ang ginawa po namin sa unang kwarto, madilim. Yang madilim na kwarto na yan, mayroon pong balibaliktad na bagay. Baliktad na punong kahoy, upside down forest. It's a little bit unstable, destabilizing. It's a little bit, slightly lang, surprising. And then suddenly in the darkness, you will have enormous pictures of underwater creatures taken by some of our best photographers underwater, and animals, our birds. Some very little creatures will become giant creatures. Some very giant creatures will be small. So it's a sense around. It's an experience of difference. We hope that not only Filipinos, but people from other cultures will leave behind what they know to be, as it were, zapped. Medyo gugulatin natin. So ito pong unang kwarto ay panggulat. Yung unang kwarto is, iwanan muna natin yung alam natin. Madilim, baliktad ang gubat, babaliktad rin natin ang kwento. Yun po ang saysay ng unang kwarto. But let me tell you, nothing is Photoshop. Nothing is not true. Kasi yan po mga hayop na yan, kahit hindi ninyo kilala, really exist in the Philippines. I'd like to go back to what Royal said earlier, where the center of marine biodiversity is in the Philippines, is between Batangas and Mindoro. So when you dive there, you will see creatures that you have never imagined. And we're going to show those creatures to you and to the world. These are not fake creatures. They're real creatures. All right. So after this room, having made you leave behind what you know, iwan muna yung alam, merong ulan, there will be rain, you will see a passage. Could I have the passage? That is about rain. Yang ulan na yan, well, it's not real rain, but it is rain. You will have the sound of rain. But in that passageway where you go through the rain, you will find two figures, like an apparition. Maigsi lang yan. 2 seconds, maybe. Lumalabas, nawawala. Sino yung dalawang taong yan? They represent the people who arrived in Batanes 4,000 years ago. Sila po ang ninuno natin. Okay, let me stop here in this slide and begin a story. Ang ating pong kwento nagsimula ng 4,000 years ago. Maliwanag po yan sa archaeology, maliwanag po yan sa linguistics, maliwanag po yan sa mga siyensya, na dumating po ang isang tao, hindi po sila Inchik, pero galing sila sa Taiwan. Let me repeat that. We arrived from Taiwan, but we are not Chinese. Because Taiwan was not Chinese 4,000 years ago. We're talking about 4,000 years ago. So ang pagkakaroon po ng ating mga ninuno sa buong kapuluan ng Pilipinas ay galing sa norte pababa. From north to south. So kung meron po kayong alam na kwento na galing tayo sa Indonesia at galing tayo sa Malaysia, yun po ngayon ay hindi na ginagamit. Okay? Ang ating pong ninuno ay galing sa Batanes pababa. Lahat ng tao sa Indonesia at sa Malaysia ay galing sa Pilipinas. All right? This is the story that we're going to tell. This is the story that science is telling us. But, as you can see, in the pavilion, we are using art to deliver this story. All right. Now, let's move on to the next room. There's another room that succeeds this. There's a boat in the middle of the room. Bakit bangka? Sapagkat po, yung pagkalat ng tao mula sa Batanes hanggang Indonesia ay nangyari dahil ng isang bagay, the center of our consciousness, the boat. I want you to think about that for 2 seconds. Our story is a story of boats. One boat after another boat. May malaki, may maliit, may pang-ilog, may pang-dagat, kung ano-anong boat. Ang ating pong unawa sa boat ay napakalalim. At sa mga karagatan at sa mga ilog ay masasabi natin kung sino ang naging Pilipino ay isang tao na naging marunong sa pag-ikot na gamit ay bangka. After all, it's an archipelago. You know, it stands to reason. Sabi nga ni Royal, it's nature. It's the nature of an archipelago. So, what does this boat tell us? You will see that, where is my boat? It sailed away. Nagpalaot na yung aking bangka. Nasaan na yung bangka natin? Okay, magkakwento na muna ako habang wala pa yung bangka. Nawala. Okay, may mga bangka doon sa bangka. Okay, pag nilipitan ninyo yung bangkang yan, may mga iba-ibang klaseng bangka. And you will recognize your boats. There's a Maranao boat there, there's a Tausug boat, there's boats from the Tagalog area, there's boats from the Bicol area, iba-ibang klaseng bangka. Kasi po, sa pagdami ng tao sa kapuluan natin, we managed to create hundreds of nearly 200 languages. Today, we have 175 languages. Now, I would like to give you a technical term from science. And that word, which is the technical word for who we are, is the word Austronesian. So I'd like you to remember that word. We are Austronesians. Yun po ang tawag sa atin sa larangan ng agham. Austronesian means people of the South, and this is how our language group is understood in the world of science, at least. So, let me explain this to you. All of the languages of the Philippines are Austronesian languages. All. Wala pong hindi Austronesian. So, ladies and gentlemen, mga kapwa Pilipino, if you speak Tagalog, you are an Austronesian. If you speak Maranao, you are an Austronesian. If you speak Ifugao, you speak Waray, you speak Tausug, you speak whatever the languages here are, you speak Kapampangan. If you speak Kangkanae, Ilocano, Ibanag, Itneg, if you speak Badjao, you are an Austronesian. All right? The reason that this is a very important story for us to tell is because we have been used to thinking of ourselves as divided. But we have forgotten that our languages are all interconnected with each other. You will recognize that you actually can pretty much figure out all of the languages of the Philippines as related to each other. So there is no way that Filipinos today can say that I am not like Muslim Filipinos, I am a Christian, because you have the same language family. Nagkaiba lang po kayo ng religion. Okay? But you are brothers and sisters. Okay? There is no way we can say, I have nothing to do with the Cordilleras, or I am not a Mangyan, because Tagalogs and Mangyans are closely related by language. All right? You can't believe the closest relative of Tausug, which is Cebuano. People of the current, Tausug. People of the current, Sugbuhanon. We are brothers and sisters. That's what science is telling us. And this is the inauguration of a new understanding of who we are. We all came from the north, we all went down. Now, today, there are 175 Austronesian languages spoken in the Philippines, and there's 350 plus minus spoken in Indonesia and Malaysia. All of those languages went from north to south. I hope we now understand this story as an epic story of how the Philippines came to have all the languages and our similarity despite what happened in the last 500 years. So marami pong nangyari sa loob ng pagkakaalipin natin sa mga colonial powers, pero sa kagandahan palad po, yung ating mga pananaw na 4,000 taon na ay nandyan pa. Unang-una na ang ating wika. Ulitin ko, magkakabit-kabit ang ating wika. And the oldest thing about us, our heritage, is our language. We speak languages that are thousands of years old. Now, let's go back to the boat. The boat, let's keep the boat there. Because all of this that I'm telling you will be collapsed into a very short story and a very short video map, which is going to be projected on the sail of this boat. So this boat is going to tell the story that I'm telling you. I'm being very long about it, but in the pavilion, it will be delivered quickly by video mapping. Unfortunately, wala pa po yung video mapping natin, pero ikikwento po ito. So, sinabi ko sa inyo, medyo tandaan po natin yung 4,000 years. So, blanco pa po yung nasa sail, no? Ako muna yun. 4,000 years ago. Now, remember another date, 3,000 years ago. 3,000 years ago, there was a group of people on bangka that sailed from Luzon and landed in Guam. That's 2,500 kilometers of open ocean. We were the first human beings who sailed into ocean. Not the Vikings, not the Phoenicians. This was in the Neolithic. Very few human beings were on boats. And imagine a bangka into the Pacific Ocean. Why do we know that this is true? Because the archaeologists have figured out that lahat ng tao sa Pacific Ocean galing sa Pilipinas. That means the Tahitians, the Hawaiians, the Samoans all came from the Philippines. The end point of the Austronesian movement is Easter Island. So if you go to Easter Island, they are your relatives. If you go to New Zealand, the Maori people are Austronesians. We peopled the entire Pacific Ocean on our boats. Now, the story does not stop there. From the Sama Bajau area of Sulu to Borneo, there's a group of people who sailed into the Indian Ocean. And from the Indian Ocean into Madagascar. If you go to Madagascar, the language is Malagasy. Malagasy is an Austronesian language. So the world of the Austronesian people, the world that was built by navigators from the Philippines extends from Madagascar to Easter Island. That is your world. Lahat ng tao dyan galing sa Pilipinas, or at least the languages spread far and wide. Today, there are, like I said, 175 Austronesian languages spoken in the Philippines, and more than 350 spoken in Indonesia and the Philippines. There are 1,200 Austronesian languages spoken between Madagascar to Easter Island. We are telling the story that our scientists, the scientists of the world, know to be more in line with the archaeological findings. Okay. Is this new to you? Well, it'll be new to the world, and we're hoping that you can tell more and more people about this particular kind of story. So I'd like to say something that might make you feel connected. If you think that this is all well and good, but it's 3,000 years ago, or 4,000 years ago, think of this fact. 1 out of every 3 seafarer on earth today is a Filipino. So you could say that the Austronesian movement has not stopped. You are part of the traveling Austronesians. You're here. Hindi pa po nahihinto yung paglayag na yan. 40,000 taon na po natin ginagawa yan. Hindi, I'm sorry, not 40,000. I have to correct, 4,000. 4,000 taon na po tayo naglalayag. So kayo po ay kasama ng paglalayag na yan. This is your story in a deep way. This is the story of a group of people who understood water and travel. But more than anything else, while we traveled, while we obviously knew how to be quite, what's the word for it? Hindi naman takot sa dagat, di ba? Hindi takot lumayag. Hindi takot umalis. Alam niyo yan. Kasi ginawa ninyo yan eh. Adventurous? We just went, as you did. All right? So now, we have us here in the Middle East, all 700,000 of you, and here in UAE. You are part of this story. This is our story. So ito pong nagsimulang ito ng napakahabang taon. Hanggang ngayon, dala pa ninyo ang inyong lengguwahe. Hanggang ngayon, dala pa ninyo ang inyong kultura. At kabit-kabit. All connected. Okay. Hindi dyan nagtatapos ang ating kwento. Dahil, if you go to the next room, you will see in the next room. Let me have my next slide, please. All right. Um, in the next room, we have half man, half bird figures diving. It's just an artist's rendition of what I call the deep dive. We dive deeper. We dive deeper than 4,000. So hindi po tayo satisfied dun sa 4,000. Mas malalim pa, mas malalim pa. Dahil po, I want you to remember two things. One, when the Austronesian people arrived 4,000 years ago, may tao na. There were human beings in the Philippines. Okay? Number two, when our ancestors went to Hawaii and to Tahiti, into the Pacific Oceans, there were no people in the Pacific Ocean. We were the first people in the Pacific Ocean. Okay? Walang tao doon. As a matter of fact, you might be interested in knowing that all the chickens in the Pacific Ocean are traceable to the Philippines. Their DNA are traceable to us. Okay. So I'm about to finish with my presentation by saying that when we deep dive, we are looking at 65,000 years. There have been people in the Philippines for 65 to 66,000 years. Sino yon? Ang ating pong alam ay sila yung mga Agta, mga Aita, mga Ita. Hindi po sila gumamit ng bangka. Sila po'y naglakad galing sa Africa. Well, lahat naman po ng tao ay galing sa Africa. So, kung meron kayong 65,000 years, makakapaglakad kayo hanggang kahit saan ninyo gusto. But you see, you can't walk further than the Philippines because it's the Pacific Ocean. So parang yun ang hangganan ng paglalakad, di ba? It took the Austronesian people to use boats to cross the Pacific Ocean. So yung pong sinasabing achievement ni Ferdinand Magellan na umikot siya sa mundo at umikot siya sa Pacific Ocean o dumaan siya sa Pacific Ocean, nabuo niya yung circumnavigation of the world in 500 years ago, that's nothing compared to our ancestors settling in the entire Pacific Ocean and providing it with people. But now, let's go to the 65,000 years. I'd like to be very quick about this because it's the last. You will see that in the last room, there's the helix. It is a reference to DNA, and this is a message to us, to Filipinos, and to the world. We call this exhibit our gift to the world. It is a message. And the message is this. All of us, ito naman po ay pag-aaral ng mga geneticists. Hindi na po archaeologists, hindi na linguists. Ito ay genetics na. Ang sabi ng genetics, lahat po tayo, all of us here in this room, all of us who have roots in the Philippine archipelago, all of us have markers in our genes of all of the 65,000 years. You have in your DNA Ita markers, Agta markers. You have in your language Austronesian languages. We are the product of 65,000 years of human cultural evolution. So the gift to the world that we are giving to ourselves as well is the sentence, we cannot talk about race. We cannot talk about division. Our bodies have everything. We have clear African markers in our DNA, clear markers of everyone who arrived in the Philippines in the last 65,000 years. We cannot talk about division because our bodies are everything that happened in that long, long span of time. Our gift to the world is the understanding that race is not anymore a serious way of looking at the world. And this is a message we'd like to tell the world. So thank you very much. That's a content.
Wow, what a fascinating history about us, even really amazing. Huh? Okay, actually it's a wonderful thing, but we are pressed for time. But because by 1 o'clock, exactly at 1 o'clock, nobody should be here. So we plan to have an open discussion, or sort of a panel. What I'll do, I'd like the secretary, the ambassador, the consul general, and your deputy for the expo to stand up here. Yeah, because we'll just ask some 3 questions. You have your own closing. Everybody have. Kayo po, Amba. And your deputy for the expo. Okay, Erickson, you have the mic. So we'll encourage you to ask questions now. All of them will answer. So please ask. Don't be shy. Straight to the point. No more preamble. Say it straight to the point. Question. Hindi na. Erickson. Okay, Allah's ambassador, what can we contribute? Because all of them are saying that the artists are from the Philippines, bringing them here. But can our local artists participate?
Hindi ako makakasagot nun.
Sige. Baka sila.
But I will just put this into context. No? Very briefly, you have seen it. It's mind-blowing. No? It's already not just a concept. It's being built now. It's being prepared now. I will be making consultations with you. Yun na lang po siguro ang ating gagawin. Focus groups kung anong gusto niyo sabihin sa atin, no? And then tingnan natin kung ano ang pwede nating may tulong.
Okay.
But I don't think this is the time for us to talk about.
Opo, yeah, because of the president.
Yes, but just, sabi nga, meditate on this. Process it in your heads and we'll see. I will be making the rounds anytime soon and, the artist group or whatever. Pero itong klarong-klaro sa ating lahat, we are a very big group here, so kailangan na ipakita natin a very strong participation. So that's where we will begin. Okay, thank you.
So, Secretary, the process is through ambassador or...
I'll add to what the ambassador said. Ang nakikita ko pong role natin dito, we will all be the ambassadors. The ambassadors of our participation. So, kayo po lahat yun. The ambassadors, kasama po siyempre si Ambassador Joy. We will come out with a communication program para hong similar to what was explained to us. Para as ambassador, you will help us in communicating to your friends, whether the other Filipinos or even yung mga foreigner friends natin, to be able to understand the Filipino, tayo po, and to understand also the meaning of our participation. Those that have been explained by Ms. Marian and Architect Royal will come up with siguro how best to explain it para we can all be the ambassadors and explaining all the meaning behind the Philippine Pavilion. So we'll do that. That's the reason why we mentioned earlier, meron tayong communications company rin na outsource, the BBDO Guerrero, who will help us put into words what we can also relate to others. So yun yung unang-una. Then second, of course, we should be ambassadors of goodwill, projecting din na maganda nang nangyayari sa Pilipinas, yung the good story, both on the economic as well as the culture. And then third, as participants to the pavilion, to invite everyone as well.
Okay. Assistant Secretary, right? You will always be based here for the participation?
Hopefully next year.
Next year. Full-time na po
meron na
dito.
akong permanent resident visa.
Okay.
Anyway, I'd like to announce that we are very open to anybody who would like to contribute.
Okay.
We have a contact number. Let us know exactly what it is that you can contribute. And we will always be able to kung sinong gusto mag-volunteer po. Kasi kailangan ho namin yan. At the same time, there are going to be so many events that we will be organizing on the run-up within the 6 months from October all the way to March, especially on the National Day. And that is where we will involve each and every one of you as a participant or as a performer or as a supplier of services. At the moment nga, meron na kami mga suppliers na galing dito sa Dubai from the Filipino community. Ang landscaping ho ng ating pavilion ay manggagaling sa isang Pilipino na kampanya, no?
Great.
Mga tipong ganon. So marami po yan na opportunities. Let us know, kasi hindi naman namin alam lahat mga talento nyo at lahat ng mga pwede nyo ipaubaya sa amin.
Aside from karaoke, maraming talento talaga.
Daming talento, no? Actually,
sige po.
incidentally, si Marian and Royal and I were discussing, Sekmon, the possibility of actually putting together a group of mural artists. If there are mural artists who are willing
great.
to help us, please
Yeah.
come and see us. Okay.
Yeah, I think we have some artists here. I saw them. Okay, Consul General Paul Raymond Contreras. So what is the response of the Consulate General here?
Well, thanks, Papoy. The project of the Philippine Pavilion may have been led by DTI and the government agencies, but the story of the Filipino must be told by kayo mismo. The sense of ownership must be with our stakeholders because government serves you and nobody else, serves our people. So when we mean that the government leads the Philippine Pavilion, in essence, what we're also trying to say is that it's not just us, but it's the entire 700,000 Filipinos in the UAE because this is also your project. And you have to have a voice in making this known, not only to ourselves, but to the rest of the other 200 ethnicities and nationalities in the UAE.
So one question from the audience. One question. Okay, please.
You mentioned about I've been from modeling agency, so we're the first modeling agency in the UAE, owned by Filipino. So we're very interested in join, especially with incoming events. So
Okay,
I would like to get connected with the people who can actually educate us to doing this.
Sure, sige. Let's discuss. Oh,
That's
let's
the
sit down.
spirit. Giban, give her a big hand. So I think we know them, and local contact, even Cham is here from DTI. So let's approach them and let's volunteer. Huwag na tayong maya. This is the time, one of the greatest shows on earth. Take advantage. Closing statement, then we will close the program. Okay. Yeah.
Nasabi ko na yung closing statement ko kanina. So, great to be here. We'll talk, we'll continue to talk, and let's all be part and contribute to this very exciting project led by our President Duterte. Ito pong Philippine Pavilion sa World Expo Dubai 2020.
Okay na. So, can I call all the PhilSoc officers to come quickly in the front of the stage, not on. Sir, magpapapicture daw yung PhilSoc officer. Diyan na po kayo sa taas. Quickly, doon na sa baba. Then we'll have the closing. Okay, we'll ask the two presenters also. Quickly. Yung magpapa-selfie po pala, we'll do it outside. So let's try to manage the group shots outside. Yeah. Can you... Hindi tayo magkasya, sir. Oo. Sige na, quickly lang. Meron pa pong closing remarks? Don't go out, please. Thank you very much, sir. Tita, okay. Let's now hear closing remarks. Oh, by the way, gutom na ba kayo? Okay, kasi yung hotel is giving 50% discount for their lunch, for their Friday brunch. Fly me to the brunch. That's what they call it, from 12:30 to 4 p.m. on the first floor, Medley Restaurant. 50% off po, 50 discount. So we'll hear now from Jumana Muhammad for the closing remarks.
I know everyone is so hungry now, so let me have my closing remarks. On behalf of the officers, the board members, and the founding members of PhilSoc, Filipino Social Community, we are really grateful to the Philippine Embassy and the Philippine Consulate for allowing us to host this town hall meeting with Honorable Secretary Ramon Lopez and his Department of Trade and Industry team. Indeed, all of us, including you, the audience, working in various industries and coming from different provinces in the Philippines, have gained valuable information about our participation at the World Expo 2020 in Dubai, which is being promoted as one of the greatest shows on earth, coming on October 2020. Thank you, Secretary Lopez and your Manila team, UAE team members. Thank you to our dear Ambassador, Joy Quintana, and the embassy's officers and staff. Also to the Consul General, Ramon Raymond Cortez, and the consulate officers and staff, as well as to our Philippine Labor, OWA officials and staffs and representatives of Philippine government, entities such as SSS and Pag-ibig. Last but the least, kayo po ang aming kabayans. Without you, there is no town hall. Magkikita ulit tayo sa First General Assembly ng PhilSoco sa January. Advance Merry Christmas po and maraming salamat and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Ingat ka. So maraming salamat po. Give yourself a big hand because without you, walang town hall. Maraming salamat po. And thank you very much also to Pullman City Center, Warpis Arnold, Marlene Murphy, Aris Omandan, Francis Arumbola, Creative Exponents, Alpha Media Productions, Tag 91.1, H-Stars, Milo Torres Photography. Maraming salamat and God bless. 50% discount po, first floor.